Think about this for a second. That amount of Milo you added to the milk. The smell of chocolate is warm and comforting. That first sip that somehow makes mornings easier. Have you ever wondered where it really comes from? How can millions of people make the same drink every year in the same way, but have it taste the same? How did a simple idea from the past become one of the most popular drinks in the world? Today, we're going to look closely at how Nestlé Milo is made. From the beginning of its history to the raw ingredients, the huge machines, and the final package that is sent to your home. This is the end of the whole process. I can promise you that it is even more interesting than you think. Let's start over from the beginning. The story of Milo began to unravel in 1934. The world was having a hard time. A lot of families were having trouble making ends meet, and kids weren't getting enough to eat. Because of this, they were tired, weak, and didn't have the stamina to attend school or play. Nestlé observed this problem and asked a very important question. How can we make a drink that is cheap, tastes good, and gives kids the energy they need? After years of looking into it, Milo was the answer. A drink made with chocolate malt that has milk, barley, cocoa, and other things that are needed. It was made not only to taste good, but also to help the body grow and stay healthy. The name Milo comes from an ancient Greek athlete who was known for his incredible power. Milo has always been a word that means strength, energy, and food. Milo slowly spread all over the planet, to Asia, starting in Australia, from Africa to the Middle East. There are many different regions and civilizations, yet everyone seems to like that taste. Now that we've done that, let's go into the plant, where this trip happens every day. Everything starts with the raw resources. Milo is made of malted barley, cocoa powder, milk solids, sugar, and a number of vitamins and minerals. They are all very important in their own ways, but before something can be used, it must first pass strict quality checks. Trucks bring the ingredients to the factory, but they don't go inside right away. The samples are all taken and looked at. Nestlé checks the product for cleanliness, freshness, moisture level, and safety. If even one test fails, the ingredient is not allowed. The factory has a guideline that says if something isn't good enough for our own families, it isn't good enough for Milo. After they get the go-ahead, the parts are stored in huge silos. These silos are huge, and some of them can hold tons of stuff. Everything has a complete system for labeling, tracking, and protecting it. Now, let's talk about malted barley, which is what makes up the main part of the Milo drink. When the barley grains get to the facility, they are first rinsed. Dust, stones, and other unwanted particles are taken away. After that, the barley is put in water and let sprout for a short time. Why? Mostly because it makes the natural enzymes in the grain work. These enzymes give Milo its malty flavor and help release energy. After the barley has sprouted, it is dried and roasted at a temperature that is easy to control. This stage of roasting is really important. Too much heat could ruin the taste totally. The flavor won't develop if there isn't enough heat. So, everything is watched very carefully. Everything from the timing to the temperature to the moisture is planned out. Next comes chocolate. People are quite careful when they choose the cocoa powder that goes into Milo. It has to be just right when it comes to color, smell, and taste. Not too bitter, not very weak. The delicious chocolate flavor and comforting smell of Milo come from cocoa. One reason for this is that people can easily tell who Milo is. The next thing to do is the milk solids. Milk adds creaminess, protein, and calcium. It does this while also making the drink smooth and tasty. It helps bones grow. The next stage is to add sugar. Although the amount is always closely watched, it's best to find a middle ground. Sweet enough to be enjoyable, but not too much to be bothersome. The addition of vitamins and minerals comes next. Iron gives you strength. Vitamin B gives you energy. A variety of vitamins, such as vitamin C, to support general health.
At this point, you might be thinking, how do they make all of this work together so that it is perfect every day? In instances like this, Big industrial mixers are quite important. These machines are quite powerful and precise. Computers are utilized to make sure that the right amounts of each ingredient are added. Mixers make the Milo base by mixing everything together evenly. Sensors keep an eye on the combination all the time. The heat, it has a texture, there is water in the air. The technology instantly lets the operators know if something goes wrong, even a little bit, because you have to keep things the same. The taste of the Milo you eat today must be the same as the taste of the Milo that someone eats on the other side of the planet. After it has been mixed, the mixture goes on to the drying process. After drying, the mixture is turned into a powder by taking out any extra moisture. This technique is done carefully to keep the taste and nutrition. The flow of hot air across the mixture makes it dry uniformly. The powder is quickly chilled after it is done. After the powder has cooled, it is time to sift it. This gets rid of lumps and makes the texture smooth. This is why Milo dissolves so quickly in milk. There are no rough grains. There are no clusters that have different sizes. There was nothing but a velvety dark powder. Beyond the production line, there's another fascinating part of Milo's journey: innovation and research. Nestlé doesn't just stop at making the drink taste great and be nutritious. They are constantly studying how to make it even better. Scientists and food technologists work in laboratories to understand how the body uses the energy in Milo, how flavors develop over time, and how new ingredients could enhance both taste and health benefits. For instance, they experiment with different types of barley, cocoa varieties, and natural flavor enhancers, all while making sure the final product remains consistent for consumers around the world. They also research the best ways to retain vitamins and minerals during the heating, drying, and packaging processes so that every spoonful delivers the energy boost it promises. Sustainability is another area of focus. Milo's team investigates how to source ingredients responsibly, supporting farmers with techniques that improve crop yields and reduce environmental impact. Water usage, energy efficiency, and packaging materials are constantly analyzed to find more eco-friendly solutions. Even the logistics of shipping are optimized, ensuring that Milo reaches markets quickly without compromising freshness or quality, while minimizing carbon emissions along the way. Beyond the factory, Nestlé invests in community programs that educate families about nutrition and healthy lifestyles, often inspired by the very values Milo was founded on nearly a century ago. This dedication to continuous improvement, environmental responsibility, and community support shows that Milo is more than just a drink. It's a carefully crafted experience that balances taste, health, and ethics. Every sip carries the work of countless people: researchers, farmers, engineers, and even the packaging designers, all contributing to a product that millions trust and enjoy every day. It's a reminder that behind every familiar flavor, there's a story of innovation, care, and dedication that spans decades. Finally, we have reached one of the most important steps: quality control. Every batch of Milo is tested, not just once, but several times. After the samples are taken, they are checked for color, smell, taste, texture, and nutritional content. Some tests are done in labs. The human way to do the others is to taste them. It is true that trained teams really do prepare and eat Milo. They ask simple but deep inquiries such as, "Does this taste right? Does it make you feel better?" When someone inquired, "Would kids like this?" the answer must be yes for the batch to move further. It won't leave the plant if it isn't. It's time to bundle right now. Pipes that are sealed shut send the finished Milo powder to machines that package it automatically. These devices work at a very fast pace. Their contents are in small sachets, medium packs, and big family tins. Each pack is measured very carefully. The machine won't accept it if the weight is off by even a little bit. They then seal the bags tightly so that air and moisture can't get in. The taste and freshness stay the same. The dates, batch numbers, and safety codes are printed on every carton. Because of this, Nestlé can find out which factory and batch made each product. Milo stays fresh for a long time. That is not lucky at all. That shows that the packing was well thought out and the design was smart. The next step is to move the products to the warehouse after they are packaged.
It's a huge warehouse, a neat pile of thousands of boxes, sorted by type and where they are going. Milo will begin its journey around the world from this point. put on trucks, ships, and containers to move them. We will open some of the packs tomorrow morning. Some people will go quite far, across oceans and land, but the promise is the same for all of the bundles. The people behind all of this are engineers are checking out machines, quality control experts do tests. Many teams at the warehouse take care of shipments. People that work in the manufacturing assist make sure that everything goes well. Most of them drank Milo when they were kids. They don't think of this as just a job. Pride is the reason. Nestlé puts a lot of focus on this area as well. Manufacturers are trying to use less water and electricity. Waste is kept to a minimum as much as possible. There is always room for development in packaging materials to make them better for the environment. Because the question we need to ask now isn't only, how do we make Milo? Another question is, how can we do it in a way that is good for the future? After this, the process will go on, every single day, as the years go by. For the first time since 1934, millions of packets were made with the same level of care, accuracy, and purpose. Please stop for a moment if you wish to make a cup of Milo next time. For example, the farmers who are growing barley. The workers are roasting cocoa beans. The machines are the ones that mix, dry, and pack. They were the ones who made sure everything was just right. When you think about it, how much history, science, and attention went into making just one simple drink? Milo is more than just a product. It is held as a tradition. Keep this in mind, a feeling of safety and strength in oneself, and the story of its past is still being told, one cup at a time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.